Hello there and welcome to our very special Get Started with Jewel Enamel special. This is going to be a really fantastic show. We're lucky enough to have our Jewel Enamel specialist with us. So lovely, Liz, how are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Fantastic, fantastic. This is going to be such an exciting show because I only first saw Jewel Enamel just a few months ago and I was struck not just by the colours and the textures and the versatility of this, but how instant it is. It really is incredible, isn't it?
It's very instant. That's one of the key things about it. I think people can make something and walk away wearing it in 5 minutes.
Yeah, it's those instant results. It's just fantastic. We're going to start off this special show today by showing you the basic Jewel Enamel kit, what's in it, and then we're going to go over to Liz and we're going to see some actual demonstrations and how you can make these incredible pieces of jewellery that she's actually brought along to show us today. Right, so your Jewel Enamel kit, it's one of our biggest kits that we have here on JewelleryMaker. You'll be surprised about how many pieces of jewellery you can actually get from this special kit. Let's start off by showing you the really main part, the absolute essential part to your Jewel Enamel kit. It is, of course, your melting pot. This is an absolute essential. The quality of this particular melting pot is absolutely awesome. I've seen this in action so many times. It is absolutely tremendous. You do need this if you're going to be doing your Jewel Enamel, just the very nature of the Jewel Enamel and the way that it melts, you do need this, and we're going to show you how this works a little bit later on in the show. It's a fantastic and essential tool. You're also going to be getting, and this is a really exciting bit because this is where all the kind of creative bit comes to life. Start off by showing you these. These are three of your basic Jewel Enamel colours. You're going to be getting your ruby red, your deep gold, and your amethyst. Now these are your Jewel Enamel colours. Can you mix these up, Liz? Can you actually mix the colours?
Large part of the point of it.
Fantastic.
The colours are fantastic when they mix. They're really deep and intense.
Oh, this is going to be wonderful. So you've got your three really nice big pots of Jewel Enamel colour. Then you've got, what should I show next? Should I show the mica powders next? I think I'll show the mica powders. These are absolutely gorgeous. These are your mica powders. Of course, we're going to be speaking to Liz about what you can use these for, how you can get added effects by using these mica powders. But you're going to be getting yellow, silver, and copper. Are these for textures? Are these for the final flourishes? What are the mica powders used for, Liz?
You can mix them with the Jewel Enamels. They're not the same as Jewel Enamels. They are a powder of colour without any of the resiny type properties of the Jewel Enamels. But you can dust the moulds with them before you put in the Jewel Enamels. You can cover the back of diamond clear Jewel Enamels with them. It's fantastic. It enhances everything that you do with the Jewel Enamel.
This is going to be awesome. Of course, we're going to be seeing loads of examples of the jewellery that Liz has brought along as well, and you can see how this has been applied to all the Jewel Enamel. There's loads more in this starter pack, by the way. You're also going to be getting these three colours of Gleam Gilding Wax. This is beautiful. You only use a tiny little bit of this. You're going to be getting purple, this beautiful, well, it's described as Gleam Spice, which I think is the most wonderful description, and also Gleam Sage as well. It's the most beautiful way to bring texture pieces. You're also going to be seeing a little bit later on how you can apply this incredible Gleam Gilding Wax to your pieces of Jewel Enamel. It's absolutely amazing when you see all of these working together. It's just gorgeous. As well as getting your melting pot, your mica powders, your Jewel Enamel base colours and your gilding wax, you're also going to be getting these three moulds. I'll show you them in order. You're going to be getting this really fantastic square mould, and you can see it's got that bit of a pyramid shape to it, hasn't it? So you can get that wonderful three-dimensional pendant pair of earrings. It's going to sit beautifully in a lot of the bezels we're going to be showing you as well a little bit later on in the show. This is a really lovely shape, isn't it, Liz?
It is a gorgeous shape, and it shows off the Jewel Enamels perfectly. When you heat polish them, it really shows the colours beautifully.
Gorgeous. So you've got your square. You've also got this beautiful, really heavily detailed heart. These are all silicone molds, by the way, so they're very flexible, really amazing quality, really nice and easy to get the jewel enamel out of, and it's kind of like a filigree pattern that you're going to be getting here. That is going to look absolutely beautiful, especially if you use it with the gilding wax and you pick out that bit of detailing that you're going to be getting in this beautiful pendant of this beautiful heart design. Then this is absolutely awesome. I love this one. And this is one of the first pieces of jewel enamel that I saw coming out of a mold like this. It is amazing. This is the face shape. It is absolutely incredible. The detailing on this is just wonderful. It's such a fantastic mold to use. How have you used this mold in the past?
I've used
Liz?
it to make earrings and little pendants and
gorgeous.
things. You could use it to make a ring as well, or you could set it in polymer clay, or there's a load of different ways of using it. It's just a beautiful shape, and it could be male, it could be female, it can be any colour you like.
Oh, fantastic. It's just gorgeous, isn't it? This wonderful face mold that you're going to be getting. It's like a gorgeous mask. It's wonderful. You're also going to be getting this, and I haven't actually seen this used in a demonstration yet. I'm really, really looking forward to seeing some examples of how Liz has actually used this. I won't open the box because it'll just spring out the box. This is described as stellar flash. What you're looking at is tiny, tiny, tiny little flakes of iridescent white.
Sparkliness.
Sparkliness. Is that a technical term?
Absolutely.
It's a technical term on Jewellery Maker. Sparkliness, it's gorgeous. This is really, really beautiful. Now, I bet with the jewel enamel this looks amazing because it must almost be suspended in the jewel enamel.
Yes, when you put it with the diamond clear jewel enamel, it is absolutely gorgeous. It can give you effects that are like dichroic glass. It just adds twinkle and sparkle. Gorgeous. You don't need much at all, just a tiny little pinch.
We're all fans of gorgeous twinkles and sparkles here on Jewellery Maker. This is going to be amazing. So this is everything you're going to be getting here. Your melting pot, your 3 massive pots of your jewel enamel, of your basic jewel enamel colours in deep gold, ruby red, and amethyst. Gorgeous. Your mica powders in 3 different colours. Your gilding waxes in 3 different colours. Your stellar flash. And your 3 silicone moulds. So you're going to be getting the square one, the heart filigree, and of course the beautiful mask design as well. All of this can be yours today. You can literally plug in the melting pot after watching this show, after getting this incredible bundle, and get going straight away. This is your deal today. Try this out. 0800 6444 655. This is your deal for your jewel enamel starter kit. $89.95. It is incredible. Not only is this melting pot going to last and last and last, but the amount of pieces you will be able to make from this starter pack is just absolutely incredible. I know this is a bit of a how long's a piece of string question, Liz, but with all of this mica powder and all of the jewel enamel and of course the gilding wax as well, how many pieces do you think you'd be able to make out of this starter pack?
That is such a difficult question to answer. But what I will tell you is that the gleams will go on forever.
Yeah.
And the mica powders will just, again, last forever. The thing you will need to top up on as you use it, obviously, is the jewel enamels, because depending on the number of moulds, pours you make, or the number of items, you will use them up. But hey, it's an excuse to just get more lovely colours.
I know, exactly. And this is it. This is something you can always add on to. If you want to add on to, more colours onto your order, just go to our website, jewellerymaker.com, and you can do that. We've got a whole rainbow of colours on our website, which you can just keep adding to your basket and make your jewel enamel so incredibly diverse. Right, I'm going to head over to Liz now because you've got to see the jewellery that she's made. It's absolutely beautiful. These are just such wonderful looking pieces of jewellery that you've got here, Liz, and every piece is so different, isn't it?
Yes, absolutely. You can do whatever you like with it, and it depends on what you pour it into, the jewel enamels into, and it could be these moulds, it could be anything you like, and chocolate moulds work really well. What
a lovely idea! Hadn't even thought of that. So you can, so it doesn't stop here. You can use moulds that you might be using for use for polymer clay. You can use other silicone moulds.
Oh yes, ice cube moulds. The silicone ice cube moulds are also fun to use. So there's just endless things, and you don't actually have to pour it into the moulds. You can pour it into the bezels and use those as moulds as well.
Yes, you've actually done this, haven't you? In a couple of the pieces, which is just lovely. We're actually going to be bringing you the bezels a little bit later on in the show. Now, what was the first thing you wanted to show us, Liz? Because there is so much that you could show us with this incredible Jewel Enamel starter kit. What is it you wanted to show us first of all?
I'm going to show you how to do something very, very simple and straightforward and make this little ring.
Fantastic.
Might not use those same colours, but we're going to do that. Okay.
This is great. Okay, perfect. Okay.
And it will take just a few moments. But firstly, I think we have to just mention a little bit about the melting pot. So, okay, this is the melting pot here, and you have a temperature slider here. When the melting pot is on, then the green light comes on, and when you start to heat it up, this is actually fully hot at the moment. Is that better?
There you go.
Okay.
Lovely.
So this one tells you whether it's heating or not, and as it's already been preheating, it doesn't show up. Okay. So, but there you go, it's gone on. So you know that it's heating. It's got lots and lots of different settings there for doing different things. And some people bake polymer clay in here.
Ooh.
Using the extra pans that you can get. So that's quite a nice idea. I think Debbie had a go at doing that. So you have to ask her for the results. So obviously you've got different temperatures. You can melt wax and all sorts of things.
Oh, lovely. Okay.
So what we needed is at the UTEE setting, which is ultra thick embossing enamel setting.
Right, fantastic. Okay.
Okay. So here's the pan.
Gosh, you can feel the heat from here. Actually,
it is hot. This is at in excess of 140 degrees.
Wow,
so that's
hot.
Centigrade. So that is hot. So you do not want to get your fingers anywhere near it.
Okay.
This is what the handles are for.
Yeah, brilliant. Okay.
So don't touch the pan in any way with your fingers, or you're going to need.
Pretty amazing piece of kit, isn't it? It's so professional. It's so substantial.
It's very handy. And the other thing comes with the melting pot is a silicone spatula, which is the only thing you're going to be putting in the pot just to scrape things up with.
Okay, lovely.
You can use, I say that the only thing, you can use wooden implements, but no metal ones.
No metal, okay.
Otherwise you might scratch the surface. Okay.
Okay.
So what we're going to do is we're going to take the jewel enamels, and I'm going to use these 3 colours here.
Oh, they're gorgeous.
And I'm going to find my spoon. Okay, this is just an ordinary plastic spoon, and don't be tempted to stir the jewel enamels in the melting pot with the plastic spoon, or it will melt.
Is this the voice of experience, Liz?
Oh yes, it's so easy to get distracted, you know, be thinking about something else and forget what you're doing.
Look, it's happening already. This is amazing.
The colours are just scrummy. They are really good. Okay, here we go. This is the blue sapphire, and I'm going to put some of that in.
Oh, look at that.
I might put a little bit more. It's always better to have a little bit more in the pot than you need for your particular pour.
Okay.
Because you'll find it easier when you're pouring it out. You won't be having to scrape the pan because it does cool quickly. And the last thing you want is for it to have cooled before you've managed to do your pour. Absolutely. This is a little bit of jet, and I just quite like adding this in, just a small amount. Because it adds fantastic contrast. What we're going to do is use the little cabochon mould. Just try and see how messy. I already made a mess. Ideally, you should put the lid on.
Okay, so why is that?
It'll stop anything else falling in there, particularly things that you don't want to fall in there and melt. Yeah. But also it speeds up the melting process. Okay. But it's not nearly as much fun as watching it.
I know, this is the great bit, isn't it, watching it happen.
So it is lovely, and if you notice the melting pot tips down towards the back, and there's actually a little max marker there.
Yes, I can see that there, yeah.
So you don't want to ever fill it fuller than that.
Okay.
And the heating element is in this area here.
Okay.
Okay, so it's not so much up here, but in this area here. You can
really see it happening now, can't you? Wow.
Well, that's melting. I'm just going to get my little, I made this just twists of wire.
Did you just do that round a ring mandrel?
Yes, with just ordinary wire around a ring mandrel. Just.
Oh, lovely. Okay.
Slightly tarnished silver wire. But okay, so we're going to be using that. We're going to be using this. So right, I'm going to just have to shift this over so I can just pick this up with my left hand. I'm going to put that there.
Okay.
Can you still see that?
Yeah.
Is that okay?
Lovely.
Right, and I'm going to swirl the design, the colours in here. Look at those.
Wow.
Okay, just, you don't want to swirl them until they've melted. And
you don't want to swirl them too much because that mixture that you get there is just so lovely, isn't it?
It's gorgeous. It's going to be different every time. And I'm going to ease it down. If I was left-handed, this would be so much easier for you to see. You wouldn't have my hand in the way. Okay,
this is great.
Can you see it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Now, one of the reasons for using this lovely little mould is because you can actually, you don't have to use the whole of it if you don't want to get the design.
Ah, okay.
Because it's a nice simple shape. And I just put that to one side.
Yeah.
Over there. I'm going to put the lid on it. And then I'm going to take my little ring and I'm just going to pop that in. Do not touch or be tempted to touch the jewel enamels while they are hot or while they're molten, because they are very hot.
I bet they are, yes.
I often keep a little thing of cold water close by, so that if I do accidentally touch it, I can stick my fingers in the cold water straight away.
Good idea. How long are you going to have to do that for? If the phone rings, what's going to happen?
About 30 seconds or so.
Oh, wow.
This won't be for long.
Yes, you can see it's setting around the edge. That's amazing.
I'm just going to hold it. You can actually, if you're doing a lot of them, you could set yourself up a little rig, if you like, to hold it there.
Yes, like when you're making candles.
Woggling.
Watch that wobbly hot, Bruce.
Can you see? That's there. Here we go. Right. And do you know what? I've been so busy doing this with you and I don't know that it's stuck in properly. Look, I haven't pushed it in far enough.
That's okay. So what happens now?
Now I've got two options. I can use the heat gun to heat it up again.
Yeah.
Or I could put it straight back in the melting pot and do it again.
This is, you know, this is the way live television works.
Things happen.
It doesn't always happen. Are you going to put it back in the melting pot?
I'm going to see whether I can just heat it for a second.
Okay.
This is the 2-speed heat gun, which is really handy.
Okay.
Can you see that the surface is now really soft?
Oh yeah, look.
And I'm going to now try it again. I'm going to push it in a bit further. That's better. Can you see now that it's actually squished in, and some of the jewel enamels are squished through all the holes in my ring?
Oh, that is incredible.
Give it just a few moments and then we'll be able to take it out of there.
This is just lovely. It's great that you've just been quite honest there and said, look, I've made a bit of a mistake. I've been too busy gas bagging. What am I going to do? And you've got the options there.
You do, and ultimately you can just put it back in the melting pot and recycle. If you don't like the way it turns out, that's always the option.
The heat gun is £16.94. You can use it across so many different crafts. And you can use it for shrink plastic. You can use it for so many different crafts, but in particular for jewel enamel. Look at the finished product.
Well, this we're going to need to heat polish, but can you see, because I've squished it in there, then I've got an edge to it, which isn't perfect, so it's not a perfect shape.
Right.
So what I can do is I can see whether I can tidy it up with my scissors.
This is great because you could make a ring to match that dress that you are going to be wearing. You know, you can really get that colour exactly right, can't you? You
can, absolutely. But I will say, if you're wanting to make earrings and things where you want a pair, do not expect them to be exactly the same.
Oh, that's the beauty of it though, isn't it?
Yes, they will always be slightly different. Okay, so I've just trimmed off excess. What I can do now, I'm going to just get my pliers though, because this is hot. I don't want to get too hot. It's going to be one of those days, I think, isn't it?
Don't worry.
Right.
So what are you doing here?
I'm just going to remelt the jewel enamels a little around the edges, just to get a better shape.
It's amazing you can still shape it, even though it sets. That's incredible.
It will always do that. And if you see what's happening when I heat this now,
it's going shiny.
Yes, that's my heat polishing technique. And if I don't like the shape of it, there's a little knobbly bit there. I could pop it back in there and do it again. Even though I've got this on, that will just melt. It'll melt off the ring.
That's incredible.
Personally speaking, I'm not going to bother to do that. You don't really want to have to see me redo this, do you?
No, that's wonderful. And do you know what's so good about that is if you decide you want to recycle your jewellery, as many people do from season to season, just pop it back in the melting pot and start again. I trod on a piece once that I'd made in a million little bits, and I love the colours, so I just popped it back in the melting pot and did it again. Gorgeous. So this probably be too big for your finger, but beware, it's still a little bit warm. Yeah. It's made for my fat fingers. So. There's that. That is so. It's amazing how shiny it becomes when you start to heat polish it. Isn't that beautiful? That is wonderful. Just gorgeous. Oh, absolutely gorgeous. Really, really love that. Thank you. When you think of all the different colours of jewel enamels you've got, and think of all the mixes you've got that are possible, it's fantastic. Absolutely. Gorgeous. What's next? What are you going to show us next? We're going to use a bezel next. See these little bits that I cut off? Oh, yeah. I recycle them. I just get my little recycling pot.
It's got all the bits in it that can all be reused.
Reused, remelted.
So it's just all
gorgeous?
of them. And, I mean, sometimes when you just pour it out, the colours are just gorgeous.
I bet that, yeah, they are lovely, aren't they?
Anyway,
stunning, lovely.
I'll close that up for a minute and put this behind me there. And we're going to, now we're going to use a bezel as well.
Just very quickly, what's this mat that you're using? Is this a heat-proof mat? Is this a Teflon?
It's not so much a heat-proof mat as a Teflon mat.
Ah, right, okay.
Teflon coated, so it's non-stick.
Ah,
so if you do,
okay.
what we'll do, I'll show you right now. I've taking it off here.
So easy.
It's really easy. There's just a tiny bit left in here, and we'll pour this straight onto the mat, and then you'll see. There's not a huge amount. It's
it looks like such a satisfying medium to work in, doesn't it? It's so satisfying.
We'll just pour a little bit onto here. So anything that happens...
I know. I've got my director Chloe in there saying you just want to touch it. It's just such a gorgeous.
Don't touch it.
I know. It'll be hot, Chloe. Don't touch it.
Not a good idea. Okay. In a few seconds, that will be. You can see. You can take it off here. It will be. You can remove it from here. This is why you use the Teflon sheet.
Ah, look how easy that comes off.
Yes, it does. It comes off very easily. So.
And that's ready to go in your recycling pot, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Or if I use those same colours again.
Yeah, lovely.
I'll stick them back in there, and we can just reheat. I can use my spoon, or I can just sprinkle a bit in. So I'm going to be quite generous and sprinkle a little bit here.
Being very liberal with the blue there.
Yes.
Lovely.
The colours are gorgeous. I thought we'd use something that's sort of a bit spring-like, and you know, ring changes for the seasons.
Don't forget you can get all of these colours on our website, jewellerymaker.com. We've got loads and loads and loads of different colours which you can choose from. And the great thing is about Jewel Enamel is you can mix them together. You can make your own colours, as we've just seen that beautiful ring. Oh yes, that would be lovely to see.
What's that?
Producer Ed's saying that he might bring on some details for some of the colours a little bit later on the show.
That would be
nice
brilliant. That would be lovely. Okay, what we can do is we're going to use one of their lovely bezels.
Ah, right.
Okay, put that there. And because the bezel itself has the bail sticks out of the back, you need to rest it on top of something, and a mould is a perfect thing to put it on. Okay, so we've got the colours in here again. And I'm going to mix
they're melting beautifully again.
They are, look at that, they're just gorgeous. The other thing I need to have to hand is my matte texture mat, which I did have perfectly to hand. And can I spot it right now?
It'll be here somewhere.
Oh, right in the front there, look. So we're going to use a texture mat as well. And I'm going to have to again swap this over to my left hand. And I'm going to pour this into the...
Wow.
The colours are just... Oh.
They're delicious. They're so spring-like, aren't they?
They are fantastic. Or if you were into sort of watery things, or you could say they're tropical as well in some respects.
Absolutely.
You know, think of all those lovely places where the sea is awfully blue and, oh, absolutely gorgeous. Look, do you know, today is one of those days where I don't seem to be paying enough attention to what I'm doing because I haven't quite filled the bezel. But I'm not worried.
That's okay.
Because I can see if I can tip it a bit. Okay. And then what I want to do is I'm just going to texture, not all of it, because I love those colours and the swirls.
Just part of it. That's amazing.
Yes. Whoops, too warm. Too warm still.
The bezels that you're going to be getting in this pack are just awesome. You're going to be getting loads of different shapes and sizes. In fact, where are they? Are they down here?
I've just used one.
Ah, lovely. You've got loads and loads and loads of different shapes and sizes. Just while Claire's doing that, we've got... Sorry, not Claire. Claire, as in Claire John, sorry, Liz.
Claire's fantastic, their bezels though.
You've got rectangles, you've got squares, and with these beautiful patterns behind them as well, perfect for jewel enamel, resin. You've got your rounds, you've got your hearts as well. Ovals in different sizes as well. It's just gorgeous. They're all $15.95. And do you know what's so fantastic about this and what we're going to be seeing in just a short minute? You can use these bezels not just as bezel settings for pendants or for earrings, but you can actually use them as moulds.
Oh, absolutely.
Which we're going to see.
Well,
now.
Right, this is now probably a little bit cool. If I try pressing on it now, I don't know how much, you get a tiny bit of texture, but not much.
That's amazing.
But let's do this. Heat the surface. Ooh. And just heat it a bit. Don't want to do it too much. And we'll just put
Details on your screen now for the Lisa Pavelka adornment texture stamps. Absolutely beautiful. I see what you're doing there. You're kind of partially, partially
just a
stamping
little bit of it.
It's lovely.
And if you don't like what you've done, you just reheat it a little. So I had a bit of a hard edge, so I just want a little bit down there. See if I can get a bit more.
Oh, that's just lovely.
So it's just a little bit of texture on there, but not the whole thing. And then if we take some of the lovely gleams, I've got some lovely colours here.
So we do have lots of Lisa Pavelka stamps on our website, again, jewellerymaker.com, and you can see them being used in a lot of the jewellery that that Liz has made here, which is just gorgeous.
This
now the gleams.
Yeah, they're fantastic. The gleams are wonderful. They have a lovely creamy texture, and that's all you need on your finger, just a very small amount. Because you're better off just putting on tiny bits, because if you put on too much, then it just is a bit clunky, and it doesn't highlight the texture. It becomes a bit too much and obscures the texture. Kitchen roll, fantastic stuff. What I'm going to do is just add another few colours. Oh, thank you.
Just lovely.
And if anybody finds that with these gleams, you know, after a while, if you've been using them for a number of weeks, they dry out a little. Well, don't panic. All you have to do is just get a little bit of terps and just put a couple of drops, literally a couple of drops in the pot and leave it overnight, and they will be magically back to as good as new.
Oh, that's a good tip.
So just
fantastic.
It's very, very handy, because I have pots that are really old that I've been using for years, and I'm going to put
because they do just go on and on these gleams. They're just amazing. So you've used, how many different colours have you used there?
This is the fourth different colour. Fourth
different colours. So the Colourful Thoughts Gleam set that you're going to be getting here. This is the actual set which Liz is using at the minute. $9.95 for 4 different shades of your gleam. It's absolutely beautiful. It looks like you're going to be getting the gold, the blue, the green, and are there 3 or 4? Oh, so it's set for, I do beg your pardon. So you're going to be getting 3 colours. I do beg your pardon. Green, blue and gold. This is just lovely. You're really bringing it to life now. Well, this is when you start using a contrasting colour. Yeah. So what I tend to do is use some of the colours that are in the mix anyway, or in the bezel. So, and then just a little bit of contrasting colour. Can I hold this up yet? Oh, yes, you can. Oh, wow, look at this. Isn't that beautiful? So, using contrasting colours. Oh wow, that's still quite hot, isn't it? It is a little warm at the moment. If you give it a few minutes, maybe 15 minutes or so, for the wax to harden, then you can just buff it up and you get a lovely sheen. Just so lovely. And that little bit of texture just looks wonderful. I know exactly what you mean about using just that little bit of texture. Yes. It just looks so beautiful. It's very effective. I think I've got 1 or 2 other samples. There's a little butterfly here, let me just show you this one. Oh, yes, please. That'd be lovely. See this one here? This was done in one of the moulds, the butterfly mould, and I literally just textured. This was actually the scraps, the stuff that I didn't really want to use anymore out of my out of my junk pot. But the colours are a bit grungy colours. Yeah. But if you put them into the mould and then just a little bit of texture, and it's just so simple. The gold's really highlighted, isn't it? It's just beautiful. And it makes, if you just push it with a little ribbon, it's a perfect little pendant. Yeah. And really quick. I mean, that's done in moments. The alternative to that is you can also texture across the whole of a... yes. Yeah, so these ones here, can you see? Those, that's across the whole of the bezel. That's a very, very deep impression that you've made there with the moulds. And I did that straight away from, while I didn't let the jewel enamels cool and then reheat with a heat gun. I put the mat on almost as soon as I'd poured it in and left it. Yeah, left it to cool with the... But the gleams just pick up the texture beautifully. Doesn't it? That's just gorgeous. But then let's just show you something. The next thing. Oh, yes, please. The next bit. It's exciting. It's amazing. If you decide that, actually I'd quite like to use that bezel again, then you can take it out and you have your bezel to use another time. So you're literally using the bezel as a mould. You don't have to use it just as a bezel. If you wanted to use it as a bezel, do you have to do anything else to it? Do you have to take it out and stick it in? Or I would always do that, yes. Yeah. Glue it back in again. When you're pouring from the melting pot into the bezel, let it cool, take it out and stick it in again. But you don't have to stick it in. You could turn these things into little pendants just in their own right. Is there any kind of glue that you would or wouldn't use?
Something strong. I wouldn't use anything that's necessarily particularly brittle.
Okay, so you wouldn't use super glue?
Not really.
Jewellery glue?
Yes, jewellery making glue is great, or a glue that's happy to bond metal to plastics of different sorts.
Okay, perfect.
So that's a slightly different one. There's another one here, look there. That's another one that's come out of, that's actually made with the colours in the starter kit.
Ah, lovely, okay.
So, and
has that got some mica powders in there as well?
No, that's got a sprinkling of the gold jewel enamels on the top.
That's gorgeous.
We can do that.
Isn't that lovely?
We can do that if you like, or we can save that little bit and do that one later.
Oh yes, please. Okay.
Okay.
Gorgeous.
Go on then.
What's next? Because we've seen how you use the bezels as a mould and as a physical bezel. We've looked at the melting pot. We've made a ring. We've had a look at the stamps as well. What do you want to show us next? I
want to show you how to make attach the jewel enamels to head pins and wire and things like that.
Now this is really exciting. I saw Debbie do a very, who's one of our guest designers, do a very short demonstration of this at the Hobbycraft show. We can actually see how Liz has transformed this pair of earrings with a very, very clever technique. This pair of earrings features, by the look of it, aragonite. There's some beautiful findings in there as well, some gorgeous gemstones. These at the bottom here look like little beads, don't they? Can you see those, Bruce? They look like little beads, don't they? Those are actually head pins with jewel enamel on them. It is the most amazing, amazing effect that you can get from this. And they really remind me of those pearl-topped pins that you can get, that kind of pearlescence. They're just lovely, and they're really, really vintage and gorgeous. How do you do this?
It's the simplest thing in the world.
Wow.
All you need is your head pin.
Okay.
And some melted jewel enamels. I'm going to scoot it down into the bottom because right at the beginning I said don't put metal things in your pan.
Yeah.
Okay, and we're going to lower a metal something into the pan but not touch the bottom.
Ah, perfect. Okay. So there is a difference.
Yes, there is. So all you have to do is just pop it in and swirl it around. Keep twisting it.
So you're giving it a bit of a twizzle, aren't you?
I am. If you've ever made glass, as most people have, of course.
Not something I've chosen, but I've seen people do it before.
You have to keep twisting it on the end of the Ponty iron. So otherwise, because it's liquid until it goes cool. So on there, I've got a tiny one. So I could actually just keep adding a bit more if I wanted to.
I bet you can make them as big as you want, can't you?
You can, but the bigger they are, the harder they are to keep in a regular shape.
I bet, yeah.
Well, you have a go. Try adding something to that.
Have a look. Okay, so will it get hot because it's been in the jewel enamel?
No, it shouldn't get that hot. Yeah, that's long enough, and it's not in there for that long.
Isn't that lovely? Isn't that gorgeous? Ed, who's producing at the minute, says it looks like a Tahitian pearl. They really do.
And it doesn't come off, and it's such a quick and easy way to finish off your head pins.
These are great for hat pins, fantastic for fascinators, for hair slides.
Yes.
If you're going to be doing anything with mesh and you're going to be making maybe a calla lily, this would make a great stamen for a lily, wouldn't it? Isn't that gorgeous?
But you don't have to worry about it being regular if you don't want to. You can make something a little bit wacky.
Ooh, now. So how do you do that then?
I've just got a little piece of wire here that I've just curled around my pliers.
Okay.
And I'm going to just change the shape of it slightly, just so that got an interesting shape.
It's actually featured on your earrings, isn't
it? It is, yes. I'll take one of those off in a minute once so you don't have to look at my ears, you can just look at the earring. Okay, in it goes. I'm going to just tilt this back a bit. But with this technique, sometimes you get more on there than you actually want. So what you can do is you take your heat gun. If I hadn't closed it up, it would be good. Nothing like thinking ahead. And then you can just heat it with the heat gun and blow away any excess.
Yeah.
And if you've blown away too much, you just pick up a bit more.
Wow, this is so creative.
Give that a second to cool, or you can plunge it into cold water. And if you want to hold that one a minute, I'll just take my earrings off and then you can see what I did with these.
Isn't that gorgeous? What a beautiful effect.
And those are the earrings that I just put, can you see those there? I just made the little curl and put 3 wires. Hold it up that way. Then you can see
that's lovely, thank you.
Better.
It's just a lovely way to finish off your jewellery, a very different way of finishing off your jewellery.
Need something probably white, something that you can see the colour. Can you see that better?
Yeah, definitely. That's like, I just can't get over how instant it is. It just sets.
I can put my earring back on again, can I?
Yes, you can, yes.
Oh, thank you.
It just sets. It sets so quickly.
It does.
Just beautiful. Fantastic for weddings if you're going to be making buttonholes, if you're going to be making any kind of pin, if you're going to be making a brooch. It's such a lovely, lovely way of finishing off your jewellery. This is just gorgeous.
It is. It is fantastic and so much fun. What I want to show you also now then is I want to use the bezels in a different way.
Ah, okay.
Okay.
Right.
So for that, I need to clean this out.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to take this out of here as we were.
How do you do that? Do you leave it on?
Yes. You can if you want to let it go cold, but you'll not get the jewel enamels out until you reheat it. So don't be worried if you want to go away and do something else. Got to go and pick up the kids or whatever. Just you can turn the whole thing off, and then. When you reheat it, when you turn it on again, you can it'll all melt again.
Lovely. It's something you can just come back to, isn't it?
Oh yes, it is just gorgeous.
I love those mermaidy colours. They're just lovely.
A tip for you when you start out is instead of doing more than one, doing multicolours in the pot, just use one colour and get the hang of doing pours and things. Because then, if it doesn't go quite the way you want it to go, you can just put it back in the pot and try again, and you haven't mixed your colours and you don't end up with sludge. You've still got the fabulous colours again. What I did with that little piece there is I've just stamped it with...
Oh, that's gorgeous. Another one of our Lisa Pavelka stamps.
Exactly.
Just gorgeous.
And the rest will go in the pot. I could spend ages scraping this out a bit more, but what I think I'm going to do is just now use my cloth. Just kitchen roll.
And it's safe. It's safe to use that.
Yes. Look, don't get your fingers on the pan. That is hot. But also don't keep turning this inside out and wiping it, because this will go hard, and if that's not so good for scratching the surface. And also, you don't want your fingers onto any of the hot jewel enamels. So I know this from experience. It is easy to get that.
Fantastic. So we've seen how to use bezels, how to use them in a couple of different ways, really. How to use them as a mould, how to use them as a bezel. We've seen how to make a ring. We've seen how to use the melting pot, how to mix colours. We've seen how to put adornments on head pins and on coils of wire to finish off your pieces. Now we're going to see the bezels used in a different way again.
Yes, we are.
Lovely.
For that, we need. I've got just a strip of the Teflon sheet. Yep. Let me just move that, because that's really going to be in my way. It does peel off here very easily.
It's lovely. Still warm.
I know. It's super. Okay, so what colours do you fancy using right now?
I fancy... Oh, now Chloe says some bright red, some bright red.
Some bright red, okay. I think that one, that's fire opal. This is the bright red. The colour doesn't look like it's going to be bright red, but it really is. Ooh. What other colour then?
Bright red and team, anyone? Gold or yellow. Gold or yellow we're having.
So we're going to have, right. Well, there's a light gold. We could try that. And one other colour. We want something strong with it.
Red, gold, and Chloe's saying black.
Black.
Tell you what, the agony of choice.
Decisions when there's so many. There's a copper.
Copper.
A lovely rich copper. Okay.
We'd be here all day if the team had to decide.
Yes.
Claire. I called you Claire again. Brian, just pick 3 colours, I'll tell you what.
Right, this time
Sorry, Liz.
It's all right, I forgive you. I'm not going to put the jewel enamels in the pot directly. What I'm going to do is put them in here.
Oh.
So I might put a bit more than that actually in there. And this is a technique where you can build up what you do. And you have the opportunity to be a bit more in control of the design. Just turn that round. And I'm going to take my wonderful little pokey tool thing. I may well need some more than this. Just going to...
Oh, those colours are lovely, aren't they?
They are gorgeous. Okay, right, I don't want any on there. So...
Could you just move that up a little bit?
I'm going to lift it up and put it in the pan.
Ooh!
Okay. Now, if you notice, the pan is sloping down towards the back. which is not so much of an issue right now, but it can be when if you overfill the or if you fill the pot of the bezel a lot with jewel enamels, because it'll tend to pour out the back. So you can just jack it up. You could use your lid if you wanted to, if you're not going to use your lid, just to jack it up to make it a bit flatter.
Yeah, okay, that's a good. Yeah, so that's a good tip. Okay,
right, give that a moment. Now this will take just a little bit longer to melt. So what we can do while that's happening is get some of the fantastic film, fusible film.
So why are you putting it directly in the bezel? Are you putting it in there so is it so you have more control over the design? Is it so you?
Yeah, it's a very different effect. So this one here, I poured into the bezel like we've just done. Okay, this one, I put the powders in like we're doing now, and you get a slightly concave surface, and you have a greater degree of instant control.
Just show those to Bruce.
Can you see them?
Yeah,
Sorry.
Gorgeous. I see what you're saying.
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
So you can decide that, because you do one layer, and you can decide, well, I actually need some clear on top of that. Or so it's not all in one pour. It's you can build this up. Okay, so let me put those to one side. And this is the film. Scissors here, look. Beautiful fusible film. We're going to just use a tiny bit, and you do get yards in a pack. Well,
I guess you are only using a tiny bit.
You could also use the Angelina and Crystalina fibres as well, if you wanted to.
Fantastic, gorgeous.
So I'm just going to snip these up, and if I sneeze, they're going to go everywhere. Just little bits.
You don't need very much of these. They create the most beautiful effect. In fact, we're seeing you pop it in there.
Yes, it's got tiny bits. The colours will change. You can use the Stellar Flash as well, which is gorgeous. Or you can, but these colours, these films have got different colours, lots of different colours. Whereas the Stellar Flash is a beautiful, clear, sort of iridescent, sparkly sort of thing. Okay, I keep picking it up, and it's stuck on my finger.
I know, it's difficult to see, isn't it?
Yes, okay. So, I'll put that there. Now, what I want to do is I'm going to add some of the diamond clear.
Now this comes in a really big pot, doesn't it?
Yes, I think it comes in the small pots as well, but I use an awful lot of it, so this is the one that you would want in large quantities.
Okay. The Stellar Flash, don't forget, does come in the starter pack, so it comes in the kit for one great price of $89.95. So it's a similar kind of effect that you're going to be getting with this.
Now I've just put a tiny sprinkling in, and you can see the effects. Now I could swirl this around and just.
Now I can see why you've used the bezel the way you have. Okay,
Cocktail sticks, okay. But what I need to do after this is let this go cold. And then
that looks amazing.
I'm just doing it very lightly. This is not the finished thing. I'm going to just take that out of there, if I may, and put that, and let it go cold. Okay. Because what I want to do then is put on another layer on top. But this layer needs to go cold first. Otherwise, you'll get a very different effect. I'm just going to close those up. Otherwise, I'm going to spill. I'm probably going to put the wrong labels on these.
That's all right, Liz. We'll
but I reckon I can tell what the colours are. Okay, it shouldn't take too long to go cold.
It's lovely. We can actually see a finished one here, actually, which has got which texture does this have in it?
That one has got some of the fusible film that I'm using now.
Yeah.
It's also got some of the gilding flake as well on the back of it in particular, and that was done in a bezel, a pour into a bezel. So we can do that one as well if we have time to do that.
And then you took it out the bezel, presumably.
Yes, and added things to it. So this is just a different take. I just love the colours. The brilliant choice of colours, folks.
There we go.
Fantastic. Is it cool enough, do I think? Yes, it's not bad. Okay. So now, if I add the clear on top of that, you'll think this is a lot of clear.
Oh. That just looks like sugar now.
Yeah, it does at the moment.
Hope you know what you're doing, Liz.
Yes, it's, I've practiced this one. No, it is
That is a lot that you're putting on there. I can see why you use so much of it, yeah.
Yes, you do. You do use quite a bit, but it's all recyclable, so that's the nice thing.
This is the great thing, lovely.
just sing to yourself while this melts.
Do an amusing dance, maybe.
Yes.
So we've seen this starter pack. It really is amazing. You've literally got everything you need to start making your very own jewel enamel jewellery. It's just lovely to see all these colours together. It's lovely to see it in action because it is just so. It is so instant. It's such an instant art form to work with. How easy is it to drill holes in the jewel enamel if you wanted to say put beading thread through it?
When it's still just a little bit pliable, so within about 5 minutes of taking it out, in this case from the bezel, you can just push a tool through it, a pointy tool through it, a pokey tool, and just sort of slightly twist as you push it through.
That's not difficult at all, is it?
No,
I would have thought it might be quite brittle, but I suppose if it's...
It does become brittle as you leave it for, after an hour or so, then that's too long. Okay. I would say 5 to 10 minutes tops before you put a hole in.
Okay, lovely.
Obviously, when it's thinner and it's not so difficult.
Yeah, just lovely. And do you have an example of how the mica powder's been used? Because obviously that's in the starter pack as well. I do. Well,
and the mica powders, actually, I should have got those out. I might have to just rummage. Oh no, here's one. This is a good one.
That's lovely.
This one here is using that lovely face mould.
Wow, yeah, isn't that gorgeous?
And if I turn that over, you can see I was using my gubbins again. The duff colours. Yep. That just yucky brown colours. Some people like yucky brown colours, but personally speaking, I prefer something that's got a little bit more to it. So all I did was paint the mould with some of the mica powders. We can do that if we have time, and then add some of the gilding flakes. And then you pour into it.
Lovely.
And it's just gorgeous. And
Isn't it a gorgeous effect? It's beautiful.
It's just a neat way of doing it.
It looks really weathered. It's beautiful.
It does. If I pop the lid on this for a second, then it'll speed it up.
That's okay.
Just so you can see, this one here was done with a straight pour of the three different colours. Yeah, lovely. And it's just so quick to make into a necklace.
Just beautiful. Isn't that gorgeous? If you do want to add anything else onto your order whilst you're watching this show today, just go to our website, jewellerymaker.com. We've got mica powders, we've got the melting pot, we've got the extra trays for the melting pot. We've got the moulds, we've got the bezels, we've got extra gilding waxes, we've got extra jewel enamels, we've got the crystal, the diamond clear as well. All of these are available to you. We're just showing you the website now. Just go to the website, add them onto your order, because these are things which you will end up using them, but they will last you ever such a long time. And we're just hovering over some of the fibres, some of the fusible fusion fibres that you can get as well from our website. Lovely.
That is done using the mica powders as well.
That is just beautiful.
And that's the lovely elegant made lady mould.
Isn't that beautiful?
You paint the mould with the mica powders, pour in the jewel enamels, and you let that cool. And then I filled a square bezel with some black, jet black, and pushed my lady into it. And then you've got to let that go cold, because she will pop off. Say bye for a moment. And then you just have to glue her back in again.
Oh, that is beautiful. We're going to have to see a demonstration on the mica powder in a second.
Well, we'll do that in just a second.
Yeah,
okay.
Lovely to
so
see.
Let's see how this is getting on. Oh, that's looking
there
good.
we go.
Okay, look at that. That is just gorgeous. Now you can stir things about a bit if you want and get yourself particular designs. And again, if you like it and think, oh well, I actually want to increase the dominess of this, then you've got to let it go cold and then add some more clear. But what you can do is, where did I put my Stella Flash? Somewhere.
Isn't that lovely? So you can get a much more precise design, a much more controlled design if you do put it in the bezel and you do it the way that Liz is just showing us now.
I'm just going to sprinkle in a bit of the Stella Flash so you can see what that does.
I bet that looks amazing.
It is gorgeous. Again, it's just a little swirl. Very often I would add an extra, the lights are just making me not see what I'm doing, an extra layer of clear on top of this to make sure that the Stella Flash is included.
Yes, of course, you want to make sure it's in the design rather than poking out the top.
But if we're going to see the other thing as well, I think I don't want to do too much to this for the moment. It needs to come out. So it's coming out to here. Whoop, nearly lost it.
I was looking at it on slow motion then. Oh, goodness me.
Okay. I think I would want some more colour Can you see that up here?
Yes, I can see what you're doing. That's lovely.
And then what we can do is, I definitely want to put some more colour into this. I think I'd go for with another layer, but just so that you get an idea, somewhere is my deep gold. Here. We're going to take a very small, you asked me what the little speckly bits were. Okay. Just touch it on. And it should start to, oh, is that in the way again?
That's
Let me just grab that. I'm not being very good about keeping that out of the way, am I now? Ah, darn it, here we go. Let's just touch this with a little bit of black.
So you're using the coloured jewel enamel here?
Yes, just to add a little something to the top. Now,
that's amazing.
It hasn't completely melted.
No, it hasn't.
So, but it has stuck to the surface. Now you can see it melt.
Yeah.
Look at that, and it blossoms.
Oh, goodness me, it does, doesn't it? It really does. You can see it just literally blossom.
And if you heat it more, then obviously it'll become very fluid and can run all over the place. You can change the design considerably then. But
lovely.
I have to leave that for a moment because I'm not going to pick that one up to show you just a second because it's a little hot.
It'll be very hot,
and it will run out of the pot, the bezel in a second. Is it, Hannah? Still too hot to show.
That's okay, we can show it at the end.
Oh, it's coming. How does that? Can you see that?
Yeah, you can really see how the black and the gold have just blossomed. It's beautiful. Goes really well with your top, actually.
It does. It's a little hot next to my skin right now, but so okay. So that was. But this time you can't get this out of your bezel and reuse the bezel. So this is a permanent thing. You could reheat it in there and make the jewel enamels liquid again and wipe it out, but you wouldn't be able to pop it out like we did with the pour into the bezel. Okay. So that's the difference. Okay, so we're going to use another mould and we're going to use our lovely elegant lady. She's the so elegant pretty. Lady. I have all the moulds and I have to do a quick rummage. I say, well, there's my elegant lady. Okay, and in here I have a fine paintbrush.
All of these extra moulds are available on our website. It's just fantastic. It really is a fantastic medium to work in. It's just so exciting.
And what we'll do then is we'll put some of the broken, the bits that we want to recycle into there. See what happens when you pop it into.
What's that?
Instead of pouring it on the mat, I poured it into cold water, and you got the most fantastic shapes. It was quite good fun. I thought if you were a mixed media artist, or
I don't know what that is, Liz.
Well, it looks like he's got a very big nose.
It does, doesn't it?
It could be an elephant. I don't know. It
does. I love it.
But it's a bit of fun anyway. When I was a kid, we used to put wax from making candles into cold water and get fantastic shapes. And I thought, oh, that could be quite good. Let's just put a little bit more in there. No, that's on something. Oh, just a bit more in the pot. There's it. Right. This will take a second to just melt up. Put all my bits in there. Close that up again. And then we're going to take some of these lovely mica powders, and they are not jewel enamel, so they won't melt if you just put them in the pot.
What will happen to them?
You can add them to change the colour of whatever is in the pot, but they won't act like jewel enamels. So it can be a very nice way of changing the colour of your sludge, if you like. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is just take my little paintbrush and just put a little bit of extra.
Have you wet the paintbrush at all, or is it just dry?
It's just dry. If I did wet it, these mica powders would become paints. Watercolour paints. Interesting. Wow. Which doesn't necessarily mix with this, but they will become paints that you could paint onto porous surfaces and paper and things like that.
Wow, so gorgeous.
They're very versatile. You can use them with other things. And if you wonder why my red is a funny colour, it's because I managed to put the lid of the green on it, so I've got a bit of a mix, but heck. I'm not going to bring
it up a little bit, Liz. Thank you.
There we go. I'm so busy looking down here.
Lovely.
I'm not paying attention.
Colours here.
And if you notice, I'm actually putting on quite a bit. But don't worry, because you're going to get rid of the excess, but you just want there to be enough there. So the colour's in there.
You've hardly used any, that's really lovely.
It goes a long way.
It does, doesn't it?
You can, if you want to, put tiny little flakes of the gilding flake in there as well. How's that doing? Oh, nearly there.
Almost done.
Nearly there. I have some of the big copper flake. If you open this out and put it into a big plastic pot, you know, the sort that you get takeaways in, it will almost fill it. There's so much in there.
Yes, don't sneeze when you open those boxes because it will go everywhere.
You can, you see, look, you put tiny little bits of this in if you want.
That's going to look gorgeous. I love that.
It looks. I think it looks particularly good on the mask, the head, the face shape, rather than this one. But it's still just nice for you to see. I'm going to get you to put the lids on those round the right way. So, well, I pour this.
Do you want me to put the lids back on?
Yes, please. I always prefer. I feel much safer when the lids are on those.
Yes.
And it's nearly melted. The colours are gorgeous, just as it's melting now. But again, remember what I said about needing to put more in your melting pot than you need to fill the mould with.
Okay, yeah.
Otherwise, you'll be scraping.
Yes, you'll be scraping forever, won't you?
Yes, and you probably won't get such a good pour. That's probably one of the things that happens to beginners most often, is that they don't put enough in the melting pot.
So the gilding flakes that Liz is using, this particular design, are now on screen. Details on screen. $5.95 for those gorgeous copper gilding flakes. They're just gorgeous. Now this is going to be a really interesting design because it's a very dark background that you've got here.
Yeah, so, okay, is that visible? And I'm just going to pour it in.
Oh,
fill up my mould.
So do you fill it just right up to the top?
You can fill it up, yes. If you want to have a very flat back, then there's something you can do to do that. I should have a little metal pan somewhere. If I haven't, I'm going to use a mat. But you can put that on, and I've got a little metal pan that is just flat, something sturdy that you can press on the top, and that will make it nice and flat. But you'll probably find that you get some squishing out of the mould.
Yes, I'm sure you will. Yes.
But if you want a very flat back, then this is a nice, easy way of doing it. Okay. I've got a little bit of squishing around the edge. Not too bad, but we can use the scissors to get that off. Can you see that it's just a little soft in the middle?
Yeah.
Just give it a moment to cool.
This is lovely. I can't wait to see how this comes out. Beautiful.
I can feel it's still a bit soft. Sing to yourself. Okay.
Oh, wow, look at that.
Can you see her? She has got some excess around her edge.
I quite like that, actually.
Well, all you have to do if you don't want the excess is you just snip it off with some scissors.
Yeah.
So I'll snip it off.
Oh, isn't that beautiful?
You can take that off.
You can really see the effect that the mica powder gives this. It's absolutely gorgeous.
I think the mica powders make something really subtle. They can give you a really subtle finish.
Absolutely, that's gorgeous.
They're actually very highly pigmented, but because you're only using such a tiny amount of them, they go such a long way. Oh, I'm not going to spend hours doing this.
It just looks beautiful. This has been the most amazing show. We've seen the starter pack, the incredible Jewel Enamel starter pack. We've seen how to use the bezels as a mould, how to use the bezels as bezels, how to make rings. What are you doing there? You're finishing off.
I was going to just briefly heat polish slightly.
Go for it, yeah.
If I heat polish too much, I'll lose all her features. But if I don't heat polish at all, you may find that a small amount of the mica powders will rub off.
Okay.
So I'm just going to just quickly give it a little bit of a blast.
So Liz is using the heat gun here. We brought you details of it. It was £14.90, is that correct? $16.94, that was it, for the heat gun there.
There you go. It's a fantastic heat gun because it collapses. So it's really easy for storing. So gorgeous. So there we go. This is the little lady.
If you want to learn any more details about how to make, how to use Jewel Enamel, how to create it into beautiful designs, you've got to get the DVD. Liz is on the DVD. She is our Jewel Enamel guru. It's an amazing DVD for £4.95. It has been the most amazing show today. We've seen so much, Liz. We've seen how to use the mica powders, how to use the fusion fibres, how to use the melting pot, because I know that's the thing which a lot of people are going to be wondering about. It's so instant, it's so diverse, and it's so organic as well. You can really make it your own, can't you?
You can, and you can use it with so many other things.
Yeah.
You can use it with a gem art, you could use it with glitter, because you can put anything into the diamond clear. anything you like. Put it over top of photos and things like that.
Exactly. It's such a fantastically diverse medium to work in. If you want to come on our Jewel Enamel workshop, here are details. Liz takes the workshop, speak to the call centre for live help, and we'll be able to add that onto your order, and you can come on our workshop. So absolutely wonderful, and you get lunch as well, which is brilliant. If you do want any more details on our Jewel Enamel collection, go to our website. We've got tons and tons of different mica powders, Jewel Enamel colours, or the gilding waxes as well. And that starter pack again, £89.95 with everything that you need to start making your Jewel Enamel pieces. Thank you so much for joining us today, Liz.
It's been brilliant.
It's been absolutely wonderful. Thank you very much for joining us. Get going and enjoy Jewel Enamel. It's such an easy medium to work with. Thanks a lot, guys. Bye.
Bye.